hello, my future level 3 candidates, currently level 2. We might have some level 1 with us. Sam, how are you doing tonight? I'd like to introduce my buddy, Sam Gottlieb, who runs all things CFA at UWorld. He is the master, and he wants to say hello. So, Sam, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Mr. Olinto. Well, actually, after the concert, I really, anything I could say would be completely anticlimactic. I wanted to say in all seriousness to, first of all, thank you, all of you who are attending tonight and giving up a few hours of your evening to join us. You're certainly in for a treat. Peter is so adept. Any of you who've taken any of his courses in the past and have seen him in action know just how good he is, and also how invested we are at UWorld in your success. We really want to see you pass this, and there's no substitute for studying. But what Peter can do is help you streamline your studying, all right, to kind of make it a little bit more efficient for you, and that will actually make it less stressful. All right, we found that people have kind of indicated to us in the past that it has been extremely helpful to all of these classes that Pete teaches, and it's based on the curriculum. So I don't really think that I could do anything else justice. So Peter, I'm going to put it back to you.
Thank you so much, Sam. I appreciate it, folks. I just want to let you know a little bit about the way the course works. Step number 1 in our process, obviously you get the ebook, or you could get a hard copy book. I'm old school, I like the hard copy book. But kind of step 1 in the process is the pre-recorded lectures, where we presume no prior knowledge. I don't know if your background is fixed income, equity, accounting, whatever it may be, but we presume no prior knowledge. This is not a high-level executive review, because in some topics that might do it justice, but in other topics it may not be what you're looking for to learn the key concepts. So step number 1, the pre-recorded lecture is going to walk you through everything you need to know. Tonight is kind of an illustration of step 2, where we do our Saturday boot camps. Many times they could be live or on demand. Most of the time it's on demand. We have then, in addition to the on demand, we have Q&A sessions that are obviously always live. So if you have any questions about the boot camp, whether it's live or on demand, you can then join the Q&A sessions. But that's where we practice the concepts. We actually apply the information. Tonight, I will be illustrating step 2. Step 3 in our course is the 2-day intensive, plus we have 1-day Q&A. So the 2-day intensive is coming up for level 2 shortly. Sam might be able to look up that date while I post it up there for you guys. But that's where we do about 5 or 6 hours a day, just working vignettes, problems, again, practicing application, reviewing the concepts by actually working problems, similar to what we'll be doing tonight. So, depending upon where you are in your studies, this, I don't know where this fits in your study plan, but that's pretty much the way we do things around here. So our goal, and people always ask, why do you do these free boot camps? Because we want to earn your business. You got to see it to believe it. You got to make sure it fits your learning style. As Sam mentioned, we're all about seeing you succeed the first time on each level. Wouldn't that be nice? So yeah, without further ado, I know you're excited. I'll be putting the questions up on the screen for you all to take a screenshot of if you like. But let me do that for you. I'm not going to work all these questions. I'm going to work select questions. And the first question I'd like to do is question number 3. So I'll give you an opportunity. Just take a look at it. Folks, I always recommend, and by the way, I'm doing mostly individual type multiple choice, even though level 2 is all vignettes, because I really want to cover a lot of ground. A deep dive into a specific vignette, you don't get to cover as much ground. So I want to make sure I do that for you tonight. So you always start the question stem, right? Even with the vignette, before you read the facts, you want to read those facts in context. They want to know, hey, what is the 2-year spot rate in this market? Alrighty, so we've got different kind of rates. Now, if there's no arbitrage opportunity, you could value the bond using a single yield to maturity or individual spot rates. Assuming there's no arbitrage opportunity, you should get the exact same value, the exact same price, regardless of whether you use that single yield to maturity or individual spot rates. Anytime they've given you the rates on zero coupon bonds, the rates on zero coupon, the individual spot rates are the appropriate discount rate for a single cash flow coming at that point in time in the future, right? So the rates on the zero coupon, those are going to be your individual spot rates, okay? So what I see here is they've given me par rates, all right? So here is the par curve for our government securities. Now, obviously, the government securities, relatively risk-free. Okay, so we're looking for the 2-year spot rate. So they've given us par curve. If the bond is priced at par, that means the yield to maturity equals the coupon rate, equals the coupon rate. All right, when they tell you the bond is trading at par, we know no discount, no premium. Now, the 1-year par rate, that 4% is also our 1-year spot rate. We have annual pay, single cash flow coming in a year, so we have our 1-year spot. What we do not have is our 2-year spot rate. So we're going to back into it. This is part of the level 1 curriculum as well. So we're going to bootstrap to back into, well, what must be that 2-year spot rate. So whether we value the bond using a single yield to maturity, 6% is our single yield to maturity. So obviously, if we had a coupon of 6, principal and coupon of 6, we discounted back at a single yield to maturity of 6%, we would get the par value 100. So 6 discounted at 1.06, 5.660377. Principal and interest discounted at single yield to maturity, 6% for all future cash flows, 94.339623. Sum of the two is our 100. So that is the single yield to maturity approach. Okay, the par rate, we know the coupon equals that single discount rate for all future cash flows. What we now want to say is, well, what if we discounted those individual future cash flows at individual spot rates? If there's no arbitrage opportunity, we should get that same price. So now the 1-year spot rate is 4%, given information. The 1-year par yield is also the 1-year spot rate because the single cash flow coming in 1 year. What we do not have is the 2-year spot. So we're looking to back into this 2-year spot rate. So the sum of the present value, the future cash flows should still be 100, whether we discount again at a single yield to maturity 6 or individual spot rate. So if I take 6, discount it back at 4% for 1 year, I get 5.769231. Yeah, you want to go out about 4 decimals. Okay, I'm a little anal, so I'm going to go out a little bit more. The sum of these two present values has got to equal 100 if so there's no arbitrage opportunity. So I'm going to back into what must be the present value of that second cash flow. Well, I'm going to take the 100, subtract the 5.769231. The present value of that second cash flow, I got that to be 94.23076. 9. Now I'm going to work backwards and solve for X. My future value divided by my present value. My future value, 106. My present value, 94.23076.9. How long is it going to take me to get from that present value to that future value? 2 years. So when you solve for that fraction, you get, let's see, I got that to be, can't read my own handwriting. You gotta love it, you gotta love it, gotta love it, gotta love it. Let's see, I got that to be 1.124898. Now, 12.489%, that is my cumulative return over a 2-year time horizon, the 12.4898%. 1 plus that cumulative return raised to 1 over the number of years, in this case 2 years, to get from that present value to that future value, then subtract the 1. That's how we're going to solve for our 2-year spot rate. And I got that to be 0.0606. So 6.06 closest to choice C, 6.03. Okay, with rounding, all right, you're going to get, something slightly different. Okay, but all depends upon how many decimals you go out. But that's how you use your par yields, to back into any missing spot rates. And sometimes the spot rate is called the rate on your 0 coupon bonds. Okay, then we could use those spot rates to predict what? Forward rates. And that's going to be important in derivatives. This is 2 for 1. This is why we're choosing this topic tonight, because we need those forward rates if we want to calculate the price of a forward rate agreement, the fixed rate or the fixed rate in a swap. Okay, so got to know how to do this inside and out. 1 question down, lots and lots to go. All righty, I want to give you a simple one just to show you not everything is so hard. Exam day, there are some questions that are relatively straightforward. Question number 5, just so you know, there are certain questions at level 2 you have on average, not a minute and a half, but about 3 minutes per question. Some questions are more math intensive. We're going to take 5 or 6 seconds. Then I want to illustrate with question number 5. Certain questions should take you 15 seconds. So they tell us, the following is a list of the details regarding the yields and 5-year swap rates. Fixed rate on the swap is 4.2. The swap's floating rate is LIBOR plus 80 basis points. LIBOR is 3 point, and not now they'll be using the standard overnight financing rate is 3.4. The 5-year treasury yield is 3.9. They want to know what is the swap spread. So the fixed rate on the swap, let's see, 4.2. So we got 4.2%. Now, what is let's see, the 5-year treasury yield, there we go, 5-year treasury yield, 3.9. All right, the difference between the 4.2 and the 3.9, 0.30%, 30 basis points, 0.0030. That is our swap spread. Okay, so the other information, the floating rate, standard overnight financing rate, plus 80 basis points, distractor information. All righty, so let's take a look now at a more challenging question. Let's do right there, the number 6. So again, it balances out so that it averages to 3 minutes a question. All right, they want us to calculate the forward rate on a 1-year bond issued 1 year from today. So you're going to have a procedure. You're going to get every one of these right, and you're going to get them right relatively quickly because you're going to have a procedure that you're going to practice over and over again. What are we looking for? The term is a 1-year bond. When are we going to be issuing it? In 1 year. So I want the 1-year rate 1 year from today. What is my total time horizon? 2 years. That is my total time horizon. So what I want you to do is find me my 2-year spot rate. These are your spot rates, the rates on 0 coupon bonds, or they could call it rates on 0 coupon bonds. All right, so my 2-year spot rate, 4%. Got one piece of the puzzle. My 1-year spot rate, 1-year spot, 3%. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to talk to grandma. Hey, grandma, how would you like to lock up your money for 2 years and earn 4% per year for the next 2 years? Grandma says, that sounds okay, but I'm a little bit nervous being illiquid. So I want to be liquid in a year. What could I earn if I lock up my money for only 1 year? Well, you say, Grandma, you could lock up your money for 1 year and earn 3%. She says, okay, but if my total time horizon is 2 years, what am I going to do 1 year from now? Then you will roll your money over and you will earn the 1-year rate, albeit 1 year from now. So we're using today's spot rates to predict the forward rates. So now we solve for X. Divide both sides by 1.03 raised to 1, 1.03 raised to 1. You get, that works out to be 1.05. Subtract the 1. What do we think? the 1 year rate's going to be 1 year from now, pray for this on the exam, 5%. That's what we think the 1 year rate's going to be 1 year from now, given today's spot rates, okay? Now notice our yield curve. The longer the term to maturity, if we regress required rates of return against term to maturity, what do we notice? The normal yield curve. The longer the term to maturity, the higher our required rate of return, right? And what might explain that? People's preference for liquidity. The longer you want me to give up my liquidity for, the greater my required rate of return, right? So a liquidity premium. Your yield curve could be flat. It could be inverted. Long-term rates might be higher than the short-term rates. What might account for the yield curve being inverted such that the long-term rates are greater than, our short-term rates are greater than our long-term rates? We might be forecasting what? Lower inflation in the future, a lower inflation premium. But more likely than not, we might be looking at what? A recession. And maybe we think the government's going to use the money supply, right? Monetary policy. They're going to increase the money supply to get rates down in the future to stimulate that demand, okay, whatever it may be. But the yield curve could be positively sloped, flat, or in this case, inverted, all right, which is more the exception to the rule. All righty, that's another easy one. We're just getting warmed up. Let me get ahead here. Let's try question number 8. Let's do number 8. An investor is holding a $1 million par investment in HR Capital with a coupon rate 1.375% paid semi-annually, 2 years to maturity. The swap rate for a maturity of 2 years is 4, and the appropriate spread above the risk-free is 0.827. The bond has a value closest to what amount? All right, so step number 1, what's the first thing we want to calculate? What is our semi-annual coupon, right? So coupon divided by price, here's your yield. Now, what do I notice in this question? We've got a risk-free rate of 4, and then we've got a spread of 0.827. If we were valuing a risk-free security, then certainly we can go ahead and use our 4%, okay? But given that we have risk with HR Capital, we've got a spread above that rate of 0.827, so our required rate of return is 4.827. So they're offering the world a coupon of only 1.375. Yet the market is saying, no, we need a yield of 4.827. That's not even close. Folks, when I find the price of this bond, it better be discounted. Otherwise, I did something incorrect. So it's certainly not going to be trading at par. If there were any answer above par, we would know that's incorrect and then have one choice left. But we know it's going to be a deep discount. Okay, so let's find our actual coupon paid. We have $1 million par value, 1.375% divided by 2, 68.75. There is our semi-annual coupon. We had a term of 2 years, 2 payments per year. So our term is 4 years. Our required rate of return, 4.827, but divided by 2 on a semi-annual basis, 2.4135%. We've got all the pieces of the puzzle. So our future value, $1 million. Our term, 2 years, 2 payments per year, 4. We set our yield, semi-annual, 2.4135. We set our payment, semi-annual coupon, 68.75. So now we are going to solve for our present value. Our present value works out to be $934,932.79. And you're saying, Pete, that's not really such a steep discount. Well, remember, the price gets pulled closer and closer to par value as we get closer to maturity. It's a relatively short term to maturity, and that's why we really don't have that steep of a discount. Remember, the price is always pulled towards par over time. So in this case, 935 would be closest to. All righty. Let's try another one. let's get something a little bit juicier. We need something a little bit juicier. Let's jump ahead here. Let's try number 12. Number 12. There you go, number 12. Take a second. Set it up. All righty, they want us to find the forward price on a 3-year bond to be issued in 1 year's time. What would the analyst need? So the term of the bond is 3 years. So what will the 3-year rate be? That's the term of the bond. How long into the future? 1 year from now. So add it together. What's our total time horizon? 4 years. So I'm going to need the 4-year spot. I'm going to need the 1-year spot. We're going to say, hey, Grandma, how would you like to lock up your money for the next 4 years and earn this particular rate? Grandma says, that makes me nervous. I don't want to lock up my money for 4 years. I only want to lock up my money for 1 year. Okay, Grandma, lock up your money for 1 year. And she says, well, my total time horizon is 4. If I only lock up my money for a year, what will I do 1 year from now? Then you could lock your money up and earn the 3-year rate, albeit 1 year from now. Notice both sides of the equation, I got my same total time horizon, 4 years. So folks, if we're going to solve for this, I need the 4-year spot rate and I need the 1-year spot rate. So we need the 1-year spot and the 4-year spot. We need the 1 year and the 4 year, not the 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1 year and 4 year, not the 1, 2, and 3, the 1 year and 4 year. So the correct answer would be choice A. All righty, now how do you calculate your forward price? How do you calculate, quote unquote, that forward price? The forward price is your present value factor. So once we solve, so step number 1 would be to solve for the 3-year forward rate. Once we have the 3-year forward rate, we want to convert that to a present value factor. So 1 divided by 1 plus the 3-year forward rate. That is your present value factor. Multiply that value by 100. Sometimes you have to multiply it by 100. Sometimes you don't. I'll show you the math in a second. But that is how we calculate our forward price. So step number 1, you need to solve. That says SOL. I got a lot of SOL, but that should be solve for your 3-year forward rate. Once you get your 3-year forward rate, convert that to a present value factor. 1 divided by 1 plus your 3-year forward rate raised to 3. That gets you your present value factor. Multiply it by 100. There's your forward price. All right. Now let's see. Let's follow that up. Let's do number 13. Take a second. I'll let you set it up. All righty. They tell us our 1-year spot, 5%. 2-year spot, 6%. A firm is hoping to issue a 1-year note exactly 1 year from today to finance working capital needs. Folks, when you're a borrower in the future, let's take a step back. When you are a borrower in the future, you've got the risk, rates go up. Your cost of borrowing is going to go up. If you want to hedge that risk, what can we do? Well, what you could do is if you're going to have multiple future coupon payments, then you'd want to enter a swap. If you think if your risk is that rates go up, you're going to want to receive variable, you're going to want to pay fixed. You could use your profit on the swap to offset future higher rates. Now, if you only have hedge the risk rates going up, but you only have a one-time coupon payment and you want to hedge the risk rates are going up, then you could buy a forward rate agreement. Okay, you could buy a forward rate agreement. And if rates go up, then you could use the profit on that forward rate agreement to offset your higher cost of borrowing. The difference between the swap and the forward, with the forward, you only have one time to offset higher coupons. Otherwise, you're going to have to repeatedly enter into these forward contracts. As opposed to using a swap with a particular term that you're going to settle up every time you've got your future coupon payments. All right, that aside, let's see. They tell us we got the 1 year spot 5, 2 year spot 6. A firm is hoping to issue a 1 year note 1 year from today. What would be the forward price on the note, assuming $100 par value? So the 1 year rate, 1 year from now. Total time horizon, 2 years. So we need our 2 year spot. 2 year spot, 6%. Our 1 year spot, 5%. All right, so grandma, let's lock our money up for 2 years and earn 6%. Grandma says, that makes me nervous. I want to be more liquid. Okay, grandma, lock your money up at 5% for 1 year and then roll your money over and earn the 1 year rate, albeit 1 year from today. Let's divide both sides by 1.05 raised to 1. What do we think 1 plus R raised to 1 is? We think that's going to be 1.07. Subtract the principal. What are you left with? 7%. That's what we think the 1 year rate's going to be 1 year from now. Now, that's not what they asked us for. Remember, forward price is nothing more than our present value factor. So if 7% is our 1 year rate 1 year from now, 1 year rate, in 1 year, 7%. How do we solve for a present value factor? 1 divided by 1 plus that rate. So that gets me 0.9345, but they don't have answer choices in terms of a decimal. No worries. So I multiply by 100. 93.45. Therein lies my forward price. Okay, therein lies my forward price. Okay. Let's see. So in derivatives, so this is 2 for 1, folks. Derivatives. So in derivatives, when we calculate a forward price, we're going to use a similar approach to the grandma approach, except we'll be working with present value factors rather than spot rates. All right, but in derivatives, I'll show you. It's very simple. Once you know how to do it, you're going to be in great shape. Okay. Let's see. What else? What else we got here? Let's jump in. Let's do number 14. Why not? Take a second. Let's set it up. All righty. Let's start with our question stem, not our facts. We have no idea what to do with all those rates. All right, they tell us they purchase a 2 year 0 coupon bond, and after 1 year, they're going to sell the bond. If the spot rate in the second year, turns out to be the original forward rate for the second year, the investor is going to earn a holding period return of what? Now, we could do this without any math, but I want to prove the answer to be true, and then the theory is going to make sense to you, okay? So this is our 10% is our 1 year spot, 12% is our 2 year spot, 14% is our 3 year spot. Okay, here's our forward rate, what we think the 1 year rate will be in 1 year. 16.05 is what we think the 1 year rate will be. In 2 years, and so on and so on. Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to prove this to be true. Let me get a little white space. All right, here we go. You ready? Number 1, we're going to purchase a 2 year 0 coupon bond today. All right, so 100 divided by the 2 year spot rate. That'll get us the cost of the bond. All right, so here we go. Our 2-year spot rate is, wrong direction. Our 2-year spot rate, 12%. So 100 divided by 1.12 raised to 2. I got our 2-year, the purchase price of a 2-year zero coupon bond to be 79.719. That is our purchase price. That is our cost of the bond. Okay, per the facts, we're going to sell the bond in 1 year. So the original term, 2 years. The time elapsed, 1 year. Time remaining to maturity is therefore obviously 1 year. Okay, so what do we think the 1 year rate will be in 1 year? What is the appropriate discount rate to use to value the bond a year from now? What do we think the 1 year rate's going to be in 1 year? So what we think the 1 year rate's going to be in 1 year is 14.04%. So in a year from now, if things turn out to be exactly what we predicted a year ago, then the 1 year rate in 1 year should be 14.04. So let's now price the bond, assuming that rate turns out to be correct. So 100 divided by 1.1404, 1 year to maturity. So the 1 year rate, that works out to be 87.689. That's going to be our selling price. Okay, that's going to be our selling price. So what's going to be our holding period return? Our selling price minus our cost plus our coupons during the 1 year holding period. It was a zero coupon bond, so that's 0 divided by our cost. So our selling price, 87.689 minus our cost, 79.719. Our coupons during that 1 year, 0 coupon, cost 79.719. What does that work out to be? Our holding period return, 10%. And that is today's 1 year spot rate. So we did not need to do that math, but I wanted to use the math to prove that per the facts, if the spot rate in the second year turns out to be the original forward rate for the second year, so if they sell the bond in a year, if the spot rate in the second year turns out to be the original forward rate for the second year, the 1 year rate 1 year from now, the investor will earn exactly that 1 year spot rate, 10%, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, so if the spot rate in the second year turns out to be the original forward rate, 14.04%. So 1 year from today, the 1 year spot turns out to be 14.04, then we will earn today's 1 year spot rate of 10%. No math required. Okay, but that's if rates turn out to be as predicted, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, let's try another one. Let's jump right here. Let's do number 15. There are your facts. Take a second, set it up. All righty, I'll answer this question in a second, but I want to use it to illustrate a point. First of all, we got a 6.1% coupon, and we've got a yield of 6.2. The market is demanding a rate above and beyond the coupon we've offered. That means the price of the bond is going to be what? Discounted. Okay, the price of that bond is going to be discounted. Now, there's two ways we could find the price of that bond, right? We could use our single yield to maturity, okay? Single yield to maturity to discount all future cash flows, all righty? So future value, 100. Our term and its annual pay, 4. Our payment, 6.1. Our required rate of return, single yield to maturity approach, So this is our single yield to maturity approach using the par yields. Okay, single yield to maturity approach. This bond is not trading at par because they're demanding a yield above and beyond the coupon. If the bond is trading at par, then the yield 6.2 and the coupon 6.2 would be one and the same, or 6.1 and 6.1. But nonetheless, present value works out to be 99.655. That's the single yield to maturity approach. Now, what is the arbitrage-free valuation approach? We should get the exact same price, 99.655, the sum of the present value, the future cash flows, but now we want to use individual spot rates, the rates on zero coupon, individual spot rates dictated by term to maturity for that single cash flow coming in the future, for that single cash flow coming in the future. So we've got coupon payments, 6.1, 6.1, 6.1, and then principal and interest, 106.1. We would discount this at the 1 year spot, 1 year spot. Second cash flow, whatever the 2 year spot is, the 2 year spot. We would discount the third cash flow at the 3 year spot, and then the fourth and final cash flow at the 4 year spot. If there's no arbitrage opportunity, we should get the exact same price, whether we discount all future cash flows at a single yield to maturity or we discount at individual spot rates. All righty, so they want to know, what is that yield to maturity of 6.2%? Is it a simple average? Not a simple average. It's a weighted average, folks. Let me find our rest of our. So it's a weighted average of the four spot rates, like it, of zero coupon bonds, like it, with all of the spot rates having to be equal to 6.2. Not true. Okay, it does not have. They don't have to all be equal to 6.2. Weighted average. 4 spot rates, 0 coupon bonds, with some rates possibly being greater than 6.2, some possibly being less than 6.2. Okay, so correct answer, choice C. All righty, choice C. So your job on the exam is to determine how is it that they want me to value this bond, using a single yield to maturity or individual spot rates. Now look, if they had given me the 1 year spot, the 2 year spot, we could use that to back into the 3 year spot. Okay, if we're given certain spot rates and we're missing other spot rates, then we could back into it, but they'd have to give us what those, what the par yield is, okay, for a particular term, so we could back into missing spot rates. So you can use those par rates, if they were given here, the yield to maturity, to find any missing spot. And then once you have your spot rates, you could predict your forward rates, but you'd have to complete and find your missing spot rates. Okay, so let's try another one. Let's see, let's keep going like this set. Number 16, take a second. All right, straightforward. They want the forward rate, 2 year bond issued 3 years from today. So what will the 2 year rate be 3 years from now? What's our total time horizon? Our total time horizon, 5 years. So we need the 5 year spot, the 3 year spot. So these are our spot rates. 0 coupon. Single cash flow coming in 5 years, we would discount at 7%. Single cash flow coming in 3 years, we would discount at 4.5%. So we say, Grandma, how would you like to lock up your money for 5 years at 7% per year. She says, that makes me nervous. I only want to lock up my money for 3 years. Okay, grandma, lock up your money for 3 years, get 4.5% per year for 3 years, and then roll your money over and get the 2-year rate, albeit 3 years from now. Both sides of our equation, same total time horizon, 5 years. We divide by 1.045 raised to 3, both sides of the equation. We solve for x. So 1 plus r raised to 2 equals 1.07 raised to 5 divided by 1.045 raised to 3. That works out to be 1.229. Now 22.9% is our cumulative return over the 2-year time horizon. Here's our principal plus our interest, 22.9. But that is 1 plus our cumulative return over our 2-year time horizon. So we're going to take 1 plus that cumulative return over the 2-year time horizon, raise it to 1 over 2, then subtract the principal. What would we be left with? 10.86%. Okay, 10.86%, closest to 10.9%. That is what we think the 2-year rate will be, albeit 3 years from now. Now, what if the 5-year spot is not given? The 5-year spot rate, if the 5-year spot rate is not given, let's say the 5-year spot was unknown, but we are given 3-year spot and 2-year rate expected in 3 years, the 2-year rate expected in 3 years. We can solve for the 5-year spot rate because that's the geometric average of the forward rates, right? So we got the 3-year spot rate in our question, the 3-year spot, 1.045 raised to 3. We then multiply that by, we know our 2-year rate expected in 3 years, 1.1086. That's what we just solved for, total time horizon on either side of the equation, 5-year time horizon. So we take our 1.045 raised to 3 times 1.1086 raised to 2, multiply it out. You get 1.402486 principal and interest. 40.2486% is our cumulative return over 5 years. So how do we find our 5-year spot rate? 1 plus that cumulative return over that 5-year time horizon. Raise it to 1 over the 5 years, subtract 1. So let's raise that to 0.2. Subtract 1, and you get 0.06999, approximately 7%. All right, so I also want to stress for my level 2 candidates, the way we do things is obviously level 2 is kind of level 1 on steroids, right? So a lot of topics are introduced in level 1, but then level 2 is a much deeper dive. Lots of times, you know, people barely pass level 1, they had some weak spots, but then it devastates them in level 2 because, you know, without that fundamental understanding from level 1, it's hard to build on that shaky foundation. So while some of this is introduced in level 1, we take the position, I don't know if you remember it from level 1. Did you take that 6 months ago or 6 years ago? Did you master the concept? Did you do great in that topic? Poorly? So we take the approach with the step 1. Anybody joined us late? Step 1 in our course, again, is we teach everything you need to know from scratch, as if you forgot it. Even if you took it a semester ago in college and got an A, I would presume you partied so hard after you got that A, you blacked out and forgot everything you learned, okay? So there will never be with us a presumption of prior knowledge. If you knew it all, you wouldn't need a course, okay? And even if you're very familiar with it, sometimes you need that refresher. So that's why we take this approach. We assume nothing. Step 2 is then the application, okay? And that's what we're illustrating tonight. All righty, let us try. Again, I want to balance it out because it's very math intensive, like a theory question. Again, it's got to balance out, average out to about 3 minutes at level 2. They tell us we got a fixed income portfolio manager that wants to take a long position in default free zero coupon bonds. So if you want to take a long position, you're hoping that bond price is going to go in what direction? Up. If you're gambling that the bond price is going to go up, what are you really gambling on? That rates are going to go in what direction? Down. Okay, rates are going to be going down. So they tell us you will have a positive return when spot rates evolve over the holding period that turn out to be less than the rates implied by the forward curve. Folks, your forward rates are break-even rates. Your forward rates are your break-even rates, making both sides of the equation the same, right? So when you want to legally gamble on rates, hey, I think rates are going to be higher than that, you're going to buy a forward rate agreement, or you're going to want to receive variable, pay fixed. If you think rates are going to be lower, then you want to sell the forward rate agreement, okay, or receive fixed, pay variable. So what we're calculating with those forward rates is going to be really important in derivatives, because that's how we're going to price a forward rate agreement. That's how we're going to come up with the fixed rate in a swap, okay? And that break-even rate, you have a right to disagree. I think rates are going to be higher or lower, or you might want to hedge the risk that rates are going to be higher or lower, okay? Now, I just want to remind you that this ties to something we saw earlier. If spot rates turn out to be equal, if spot rates turn out to be equal to the forward rates predicted, like we saw in that other example, then the investor will earn the spot rate for the period they hold the bond. Okay, so that's the key theory point. So if spot rates turn out to be equal to the forward rates predicted, then the investor is going to earn the spot rate for the period that they hold the bond. So that is this theory that we saw here, okay? Future spot rates, the 1 year rate 1 year from now, we predicted that today. Well, in a year, it turns out that the 1 year rate in 1 year turns out to be 14.05. Well, we had a holding period of 1 year, then you're actually going to earn that 10%, all righty? So if you think rates are going to be greater than, if in your opinion, you think rates are going to be greater than that break-even rate, if you think rates are going to be greater than that, okay, then you would want to receive variable, pay fixed in a swap. You would want to buy a forward rate agreement, okay? If you think rates are going to be less than that break-even rate predicted, that forward rate, if you think rates are going to be less than that, you'd want to receive fixed, you'd want to pay variable. You think rates are going to be going down, you want to pay what you think is going to be lower. You want to sell a forward rate agreement. You don't want to buy it, you want to sell it, okay? If you think rates are going up, going to be higher, you think bond prices are going down, okay? You'd want to be on the sell side of a contract. If you think rates are going down, going to be lower, you think bond prices are going to be higher, you'd want to buy the bond contract, all right? So you are free to disagree with that forward rate. All right, let's try another one. Let's see. Again, yeah, we'll just do a shorty here, a shorty, number 18. Number 18, we'll do a short one here. Let's see, that's this one right here. All right, a forward contract on a bond for 96.21. First of all, how do you come up with the price? Forward contract on a bond. How do we come up with that no arbitrage price, that forward price? You ready? Tell me the spot price, the full price, the spot price today. All right, and I need the full price plus accrued interest. Now, what's the disadvantage of buying the bond contract? You're not going to get the coupons. So subtract the present value of the future coupons you're not going to receive, because if you buy the bond contract, you are not going to receive those coupons, okay? That reduces the value of the contract. So you got to tell me those coupons, whatever they are, and tell me what the appropriate discount rate is for those coupons you're not going to be receiving. They each get discounted back. You got to tell me the appropriate discount rate for that term to maturity. Okay, tell me the present value of the coupons you're not going to receive. Then multiply that by 1 plus the risk-free rate raised to the term of the bond contract. Okay, that increases the value of the contract. You're foregoing what would be the cost of borrowing if you borrowed to buy the bond outright today. That increases the value of the contract. So the higher the spot price, the higher the contract price. The lower the present value of the future coupons not received, the higher the contract price. The higher the opportunity cost avoided, the higher the contract price, okay? So it varies directly with the spot, it basically varies directly with everything other than the convenience yield or the cash flows you're not gonna receive. Anything you're not gonna receive as a result of buying the contract, if you're not gonna receive it, that reduces the value of the contract. So if you're not giving up any coupons, well then good, that increases the value of the contract. Okay. So they buy a forward contract for 96.21. If you're on the buy side of a bond contract, when are you going to have profit? You're going to have profit if bond prices go up, and that's going to happen if rates go in what direction? Down. Rates have to be less than the rate predicted by the forward rates. Okay, so your gambling rates are going to be down. Okay. Now, how would you get the value of a contract at any point in time? How do you get the value of a contract at any point in time? Tell me the spot price today on the date of valuation. Okay, remember with bonds, we need that full price, the spot price today. All right, minus the present value of any cash flows yet to be received. Minus the present value of any cash flows yet to be received. Minus the present value of the contract price agreed to at initiation. All right, and there's alternate ways that I'll show you later on, okay, when we get to derivatives. But the spot price today on the date of valuation, minus the present value of any cash flows yet to be received, minus the present value of the contract price agreed to at initiation. All right, and that's how you get the value of the contract. Now, value of the contract could be positive or negative. If it's positive, that's a gain to the long side, profit to the long side, profit to the long side, loss to the short side, zero sum game. And then obviously, if the value is negative, gain, profit to the short side, loss to the long side, zero sum. One side's gain is the other side's loss. All righty, let's try another one. This is exciting stuff. Sam, are you loving this or what? Are you having fun, Sam?
I'm having a wonderful time, Peter, and I'm sure that our audience is too. I think they're rapt just paying attention to you.
We hope so. We hope so. All right, let's do question number 20, folks. Question number 20. This is more of a vignette format, a little bit of an item set, so you can get a feel for what an item set looks like. So if I were taking the exam, first thing I would want to do is start with my questions, not the facts. So let me just show you. So you're going to have 3 questions here. 1, 2, 3, legalized cheating. what's the best estimate for the loan rate that they're going to have to pay when they issue the 2-year note in 1 year. Folks, when you're the issuer, you're the borrower. All righty, you're the issuer, you're the borrower. So let's see, when they issue the 2-year note, so immediately, what will 2-year rate be? Legalized cheating in 1 year. Total time horizon, 3 years. So we're going to need the 3-year spot and the 1-year spot. Based on current rates, the rate that Howard Foundation would likely receive on its investment. I don't know nothing about that. How are we going to execute our strategy? I don't know. Let's see what the strategy is. Now we'll read our facts in context, okay? So for me, what I would want to do is one step at a time. And normally things are in sequential order. Like the first question is going to relate to the initial set of facts. So let me find the 1-year spot and the 3-year spot. So they tell me, Matthew, charter holder, has to abide by the code of conduct, research analyst, employer, duty of loyalty, but it's not absolute. If they ask you to do something illegal or unethical, the answer is no. Has asked to estimate forward rates for the active fixed income managers. All right, so here we go. Here are our spot rates. So what did we say we need? The 3-year spot, 4.8. The 1-year spot, 2.8. So let's see. 3-year spot, 4.8. 2-year spot, 1-year spot was 2.8. All righty, so here we go. Grandma, would you like to lock up your money for 3 years and earn 4.8% per year for the next 3 years? She said, that makes me nervous. I only want to lock up my money for 1 year. Okay, Grandma, lock up your money for 1 year and you can earn 2.8. She says, well, I have a 3-year total time horizon. With a total time horizon of 3 years, what would I do with my money in 1 year? Roll your money over and earn the 2-year rate, albeit 1 year from now. Total time horizon on either side of the equation, 3 years. Divide both sides by 1.028, raised to 1, 1.028, raised to 1. That works out to be 1.119672. So 11.967% is the cumulative return over a 2-year time horizon. So time weighted, raise it to 1/2, subtract the principal, we are left with 5.8%. That's what we think our cost of borrowing will be in 1 year. Okay, so we're going to be borrowing for 2 years. Now, if we have an annual pay, let's say we have an annual pay, how do you hedge the risk? First of all, we got the risk rates go in what direction? Up. How do you hedge the risk that rates go up, your cost of borrowing goes up? Well, if you think rates are going to go up and you've got to offset 2 higher coupons, what are we going to want to do? Receive variable, pay fixed. Okay. All right. Now, part 2, based on current rates. Let's see. So that was part 1. Here is part 2. They tell us Howard Foundation expects to receive a large donation in 2 years and will not likely need the funds until 2 years after the donation is received. HF has asked AC Securities to estimate that rate it will receive on a 2-year 0 coupon bond, but when the donation is received. So we're not getting the donation for 2 years, but when we do get it, we're going to invest for 2 years. So what will the 2-year rate be 2 years from now? Total time horizon, 4 years. Okay. So what is our 4-year spot rate? 6.1. What is our 2-year spot rate? 3.9. So now we're using the 6.1 and the 3.9. All right, so here we go. Let's take Grandma, let's lock up our money and earn 6.1% for the next 4 years. Grandma says, that makes me nervous. I only want to lock up my money for 2 years. Okay, I'll get you 3.9% for 2 years, and then you can roll your money over and earn the 2-year rate, albeit 2 years from now. Total time horizon, either side of the equation, 4 years. Divide both sides by 1.039 raised to 2, 1.039 raised to 2. I get that to be 1.173898. Cumulative return over a 2-year time horizon. Raise it to 1/2, subtract 1, 3, 4, 6, 6%. That's what we think the 2-year rate will be 2 years from now. 2-year rate 2 years from now. So let's see, what did we say? 8.34, closest to choice B, 8.35%. So that's what we think we can earn. Okay, Roman numeral 3, we're going to do some math with, even though they didn't ask for the math. We're going to do it anyway because we like this stuff. We got nowhere to go. All we want to do is learn CFA. It's always a great day to study for the CFA. You kidding me? Let's see what we got. Roman numeral 3, Karen Camp, a wealthy investor who has considerable success with writing the yield curve. To ride that yield curve, number 1, yield curve has got to be what? Positively sloped. Okay, number 2, yields not going to change shape. All right, so what they are today is what those rates are going to be in the future. All right, so those rates are not going to change. And number 3, you have to invest for a period longer than your time horizon. Okay, Camp has an investment time horizon of 3 years. You can't buy a 3-year security. So what we invest in has got to be greater than 3 years. So we're going to buy a 4-year bond. So she believes the yield curve will maintain its current level and shape, no change. Okay, current level and shape. Okay, so we're going to ride the yield curve. So they want to know, okay, so this is a simple problem, but why are we going to buy the 4-year bond rather than the 3-year bond? Okay, why are we going to buy the 4-year rather than the 3-year? If we buy, I know we have a 3-year time horizon. If you buy a 3-year, which is equal to our time horizon, what are we going to get? 4.8%. Okay, why would we want to buy the 4-year and then sell it after 3 years? So riding the yield curve, let me find some white space here. So we're going to ride the yield curve by 4-year and sell after 3 years. Why do we want to do that? Because we want to get a yield greater than the 3-year rate, and the 3-year rate is only what amount? So let's see, by riding the yield curve, can we get a yield greater than 4.8%? Can we? All right, so step number 1, let's buy a 4-year bond. Okay, so we're going to buy the 4-year bond. Now it's a 0 coupon bond. 0 coupon. So what would be the purchase price? Okay, 100. Let's see, 4-year rate is what amount? 6.1%. That's our 4-year rate. So 4-year spot rate, our purchase price would be $78.91. Okay, step 2. Sell after 3 years. So original term, 4 years. Time elapsed, 3 years. Time remaining, 1 year. So what will be our selling price? Now remember, we think that rates are not going to change. So 3 years from now, the 1-year rate will still be, 3 years from now, the 1-year rate will still be 2.8%. Okay, so that's part of the assumptions of riding the yield curve. No change. The yield curve is going to remain at its current level and shape. So the 1-year rate today, the 1-year rate 3 years from now, exactly the same, 2.8%. So now let's forecast the selling price of this bond. Okay, so the selling price. So 100 divided by our 1-year spot. So this is what we think the 1-year spot in 3 years is going to be the same as the 1-year spot today. All right, so we think our selling price would be 97.276. That's what we think our selling price would be. All right, so that's step 2. Step 3, let's now find our yield. Our selling price plus our coupons over that time horizon. That would be the future value of our coupons. Now, this is a 0 coupon bond. How do you get the future value of your coupons? Tell me what your payment is. We would be investing for 3 years. So your payment, tell me what your coupon is, tell me your term, and then tell me your reinvestment rate over that 3-year time horizon. That's how you would solve for the future value of your coupons. In our example, it's a 0 coupon bond, so that's a 0. We know our selling price, 97.276. Our cost, 78.91. So that gets us, let's see, 1.23275, 1.23275. Now that's our cumulative return over a 3-year time horizon. Cumulative return over 3 years. So we're going to take that, raise it to 1/3, subtract 1, 7.22%. By writing the yield curve, we're getting a return, a 3-year return greater than the 3-year spot rate of 4.8. Okay. Hey, Dom, is that you? Or did someone just break into my house? Hold on, folks. Hang in there. I might be getting robbed. Hang in there for a second. I don't have a weapon with me. Let me take my calculator. I'll hit an accountant. I'm going to hit him over the head with my calculator. Who is that? Dom, is that you? Oh, what happened? Okay. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, live entertainment. My son Dom has Muay Thai class tonight, but he was going to be late. I'd take a break from the Muay Thai. I was getting knocked around. I got myself a black eye, chipped a tooth, got a kick in the ribs, almost broke a rib, had a nice black and blue. You're like, shut up, Pete. Nobody cares about that. All right, so our yield. So by writing the yield curve, we were able to get a return greater than the 3-year spot of only 4.8. Okay, so that's why we would want to ride the 3-year. Ride the yield curve. Okay, by the way, why do we have to invest longer than our term to maturity? Why do we have to invest longer than our term to maturity? Okay, what if we held that 4-year bond to maturity? What if we held it to maturity? Let's see. If we held that 4-year, and we only have a 3-year time horizon, but let's say we held it all 4 years. Our maturity value, let's see, maturity value. If held all 4 years, well then 100 divided by selling price, that would be our maturity value. Okay, divided by our cost. What was our cost? 78.91, right? That was our cost. Okay, that would get no coupons, 100 plus 0, so future value, no coupons. That would get us 1.267. Cumulative return, 26.7%. Raise that to 1/4, subtract 1, 6.1%. That would be our holding period return, which should be our 4-year spot rate. What is our 4-year spot rate? If we don't get 6.1, I'm going to cry. Let's see. Yeah, that is our 4-year spot rate. Obviously, so if we held it to maturity, we would get 6.1. Okay, so you got to buy a bond with a term longer than your investment time horizon. Okay, you want to sell it prior to maturity. All righty. Now let's see. And plus you don't have a 4-year time horizon. Let's see. What else we got? Okay. We'll try a theory question here. Theory. Easy one. 21. Take a second. So what's your question, Stem? Which of the following is most likely? We are looking for true statements. Let's see. Statement number one, if actual future spot rates turn out to be the same as the forward rates predicted by the current spot rates, the expected return on the bond will equal its yield to maturity? No, will equal its spot rate given that term. So that's a false statement, and we've seen that a couple times tonight now. Statement number two, if a trader expects that future spot rates will be lower than what's predicted by the prevailing forward rate. If you think rates are going to be lower, you think bond prices are going to be higher. You want to be long on the buy side if you're going to go on a forward contract. So let's say you would buy the forward contract, true statement. You want to be on the long side. So only one statement there. Only statement number two is correct. All right, only statement number. Now, by the way, to actually earn your initial yield to maturity, what's got to happen to earn your initial yield to maturity? So you've got your present value, today's cost. That's an outflow. You got your future value, 100. You've got your payment, whatever your coupon is. You've got your number of payments, okay? And let's presume it's annual pay. You solve for I, your initial yield to maturity. To actually earn that yield to maturity, what's got to be true? Number one, you got to hold to maturity. You don't sell it early. Number two, the key, reinvest all coupons at that initial yield to maturity. And number three, all payments made on time. All payments are going to be on time. Okay, so to actually earn that yield to maturity, you got to hold it to maturity. Can't sell it prior to. You got to reinvest all coupons at that initial yield to maturity. And that's what's highly unlikely, right? No volatility in interest rates. Yield curve is flat over that time horizon. Okay. 22 is too easy. Let's see. 23. Yeah, you know what? Let's see. I just want to do a couple of these. Just some theory points I want to review. So let's see. Okay. First thing they asked for, what is our swap spread? And then they want our Z spread. What's a Z spread, by the way? That's the single spread when added to various spot rates, right? The Z spread, also known as the static spread, not status, static spread. It's a single spread that when added to the various spot rates, it will give you the market price of the bond. Okay, so the Z spread, the static spread, a single spread that's when added to your various spot rates is going to give you the price of the bond. All right, so let's just start out with our swap spread. So let's see, we got a charter holder, an analyst for a pension fund allocates 50% to fixed income, but evaluating spreads to identify mispriced bonds and quantify risk in the fixed income market. Okay, beginning in 3 years, the pension fund will have a significant increase in the number of retirees drawing payments. It's going to be a big issue in level 3. So there's going to be some liquidity needs in 3 years. Green is considering the purchase of a 3-year, 4.1% annual pay coupon bond issued by Snow Corp with a yield to maturity of 4.4. So let's see, coupon 4.1. Yet the yield 4.4, so the price of these bonds is going to be what? Discounted. Okay, so they're matching the maturity of their investments with their cash outflows, right? So asset liability management. I want to make sure I have enough cash flow in 3 years to pay the debt as it becomes due. Green makes a note that he should use the Z spread to evaluate both the credit risk and the liquidity risk. Green makes a second note that the TED spreads have been approximately 85 basis points during the last 6 months. Okay, the swap spread, let's see, is closest to what amount? So we've got 3 years is our term. So we got a 3-year treasury, 2.9. Let's see, we've got the, let's see, fixed swap rate, also 3-year, because that's what we're looking for, not 5, not 3 months. We're looking for 3 years. So that's 3.1 minus the 2.9. So we've got our 0.20% or 20 basis points. Okay, so nice and easy. Okay, the Z spread, comments regarding the Z spread, let's just most likely correct. So are they true or false? What do you say about the Z spread again? We should use the Z spread to evaluate both the credit risk as well as the liquidity risk. Right on point. So both of those are true statements. That is a big fat yes. Okay, now I want to review something here with Z spreads versus the option adjusted spread. Okay, heavily tested both levels 1 and 2. So Z spread versus the option adjusted spread. Okay, when you've got a puttable bond, I want you to think extra positive convexity. You think floor on value held by investor in the money if rates go up. So it's a floor on value, okay? So your Z spread plus the value of the put in basis points, that's how you get your option adjusted spread. That will be greater than your Z spread when the put is in the money. Rates are going higher, okay? Standard deviation of interest rates cannot be 0. The option adjusted spread and the Z spread will be approximately the same when the put is out of the money. Rates are going down, or the standard deviation for interest rates is 0. The yield curve is flat. Rates are not moving. Okay, so you think extra positive convexity. So folks, here's the price yield relationship. Here's the price of a straight bond. That's going to have positive convexity. Straight bonds only have positive convexity. When rates are low, the put is out of the money. When rates go higher, that's when the put goes in the money. Now, whether you're a straight bond or you're a puttable bond, you're going to show positive convexity. How do you know, though, that you're looking at the puttable? The convexity will be larger on the puttable bond relative to the straight bond. That's how you know you're looking at the puttable bond. The convexity on the puttable will be greater than the convexity on the straight bond. Okay, the divergence from the slope. When you have a relatively small change in rates, okay, you can use duration alone to value the bond. You can use duration alone. So duration alone is fine. But when you have a relatively large change in rates, greater than 10 basis points, okay, so the benchmark is about 10 basis points or lower, you can forget about convexity, okay? So if you want the percentage change in the price of that bond, you put a minus sign in front of your duration. Inverse relationship between price and yield. Plus or minus your change in rates. This is your duration is going to be expressed as a percentage. Your plus or minus change in rates of basis points. That's your first order effect. Plus 1/2 times your convexity, which could be positive or negative. Okay, times your change in rates squared. All right, the only time we're going to see convexity being negative is when it's a callable bond and the call is in the money. Callable and the call is in the money. All righty. So now let's do the exact same setup with a callable bond. Find some white space here for you guys. A little bit. Oh, there we go. With a callable bond, from here on in, when you see callable, you think negative convexity. Call is held by the issuer. Call is going to be in the money when rates are going down. It's a cap on value. It's a cap on value. Okay, so you got your Z spread minus the value of the call in basis points. Your option adjusted spread is going to be less than your Z spread when the call is in the money. Okay, your option adjusted spread will converge with the Z spread when the call is out of the money. Rates are moving up, or the standard deviation for interest rates approximates 0, then calls and puts on bonds have no value. Okay, the price of the bond, price of your straight bond plus, or in this case we're doing a call, minus the value of the call, there's the price of the callable. That'll be less than the price of the straight bond when the call again is in the money. Okay, and did I do that same thing? Well, let me just see. All right, so callable. All righty, so here's the price of a straight bond. Rates are low, rates are high. When rates are high, call is going to be out of the money. Whether it's callable, price of the straight bond will approximate the price of the callable. Your Z spread and your option adjusted spread will be approximately the same. Okay, but when we have a callable bond, that's when we have the negative convexity, your call price. When rates are low and moving lower, that's when the call goes in the money. The price of the callable is going to be less than the price of the straight bond. Okay, your option adjusted spread is going to be less than your Z spread. Okay. So no memorization. You need to understand it. You got to reason your way through it. Okay, this is being recorded, by the way, so I'm trying to cover as much as possible in the short amount of time we have together. Let's see, where did we leave off? Okay. Just want to make sure I said everything about the puttable bond too. Where's my put notes? Put. Yeah, so the price of a puttable, price of your straight bond, plus the value of the put, there's the price of your puttable, okay? Price of the puttable is going to be greater than the price of the straight bond when that put is in the money, okay? When the put is in the money, rates are high and moving higher, okay? So that's when rates are high and moving higher than the put's in the money. All righty. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see. Let's try our next one. Yeah, we'll do another theory and then we'll get back. We're gonna do some math. Let's see. Is that too easy to do? Yeah, it's too easy to do. Let's do 25. Let's stay alive and do number 25. Take a second. So we've got a bunch of questions here. So question 25. Muay Thai. Let's go. All right. So what's the rate that could be locked in? 1 year loan beginning in 1 year. The rate that could be locked in on a 1 year loan beginning in 2 years. Piece of cake. What else we got? The rate that could be locked in for 2 years beginning in 1 year. And then given that the forward price for a 2 year zero coupon bond beginning in 3 years is 0.859. That is your present value factor. They want to know the current price of a 5 year zero coupon bond. Let me stop right there. It's like information overload, right? But let's start with Roman numeral 4. How do you get the price of a 5 year zero coupon bond? 100 divided by 1 plus R raised to 5. We need the 5 year spot rate, and that will be the price of your 5 year zero, right? Okay, now they tell us the forward price for a 2 year zero coupon bond beginning in 3 years. So the 2 year rate expected in 3 years. Okay, the 2 year rate expected in 3 years. That 0.859 is our present value factor. Okay, let's convert it to a rate. So the 2-year rate expected in 3 years. Okay, so 2-year rate expected in 3 years. You know what, I'm just gonna continue to do it here, try to keep it as nice as I can. So just take the reciprocal, 1 divided by 0.859. That gets you 1.161. Let's try that again. 1.164144. Okay, so that's the 2-year rate expected in 3 years. So a 2-year rate, 1.164144, raise that to 1/2, 2-year rate, albeit expected in 3 years. So that works out to be 0.078955, 0.078955. Okay, why is this important? I need my 5-year spot rate, right? I need my 5-year spot rate. It doesn't look like that's going to be given information, but they did give me a 2-year rate expected in 3 years. So I bet you they gave me the 3-year spot, and then they're giving me the 2-year rate expected in 3 years. The 2-year rate expected in 3 years, which we just said now is the 2-year rate in 3 years, 0.078955. Okay, so remember the 5-year spot is a geometric average of those forward rates. Okay, so all we got to do is work out the right side of the equation to get the left side of the equation, right? All right, so what is the rate that could be locked in for a 2-year loan beginning in 1 year? So the 2-year rate in 1 year, total time horizon, 3 years. Got that one set up. Let's see, our second question. The rate that could be locked in for a 1-year loan beginning in 2 years. The 1-year rate, 2 years from now. Total time horizon, 3 years. A 1-year loan beginning in 1 year. The 1-year rate, 1 year from now. Total time horizon, 2 years. Okay, now let's see, 0 coupon. These are our spot rates. So when they give you 0 coupon yields, okay, those are your spot rates. So those are my spot rates. So here we go. Let's see. So the 1 year is 3%. The 2 year is 4%. The 3 year spot is 5%. All right, so 3, 4, 5, positively sloped. All right, so the 1 year rate, 1 year from now, total time horizon, 2 years. So 2 year spot, 4, the 1 year rate, 3. So grandma, let's lock up your money. Let's earn 4% per year for 2 years, or lock up your money for 1 year, earn 3%, and then roll your money over and own their 1 year rate 1 year from now. Divide both sides by 1.03 raised to 1. We get, that works out to be 1.050097, subtract the 1, 5.01%. 0.0501, 5.01%, correct answer, choice A. Okay, next one, the rate that could be locked in for a 1 year loan beginning in 2 years. Let's see, the 2 year spot, 4%. The 3 year spot, 5%. Okay, let's lock in 5% per year for 3 years, or lock in 4% for 2 years, then roll your money over, earn the 1 year rate 2 years from now. So divide both sides by 1.04 raised to 2, 1.04 raised to 2. We get, let's see, I got 1.070289, subtract the 1.0703, approximately 7.03. We're kicking butt, baby. You got a procedure, use the same procedure over and over. Not only do you get it right, but you get it right relatively quickly, right? Okay, next one, the 2 year rate in 1 year. So the 1 year spot rate, 3%, the 3 year rate, 5%. So we're going to lock up our money, earn 5% per year for 3 years, or lock up our money for 1 year and earn 3, and then earn the 2-year rate 1 year from now. Divide both sides by 1.03 raised to 1. We get 1.123908. Now remember, this 12.4 is going to be a common wrong answer choice because 12.4 is your cumulative return over a 2-year time horizon. You got to remember, raise it to 1/2, subtract 1, your time weighted rate of return, geometric mean 0.060145, 6.01. Now, let's see. What is our 3-year spot rate? Our 3-year spot rate again was 5%. So now what we want to do is get the price of a 5-year zero coupon. So I need the 5-year spot, not given information. But what we are given is the 3-year spot. What is our 3-year spot rate? 5%. So you could either invest in the 5-year or invest in a 3-year and earn 5% per year for 3 years, or, excuse me, and then roll your money over and earn the 2-year rate in 3 years. The 2-year rate in 3 years is 0.078955, 1.078955 raised to 2. So now both sides of the equation, you got a 5-year time horizon. Okay, so now let's solve for X. 1.05 raised to 3 times 1.078955 raised to 2, that works out to be 1.347642. Now, that's 1 plus our cumulative return over a 5-year time horizon. 34.76% again is our cumulative return over a 5-year time horizon. So now I'm going to raise it to 1/5, subtract 1. What do we think our 5-year spot rate is? 0.061488. That is our 5-year spot. Now, that's not what they asked me, but they want the price of a 5-year zero coupon bond. So let's take the 100, discount it back at 1.0615. I'm just going to round it, raised to 5. What do you get? You get, let's see, I got approximately 74.2. So that would be the price of a 5-year zero coupon bond, 74.2. Okay. 0.742% of par, 0.742% of par, 74.2. So there you go. Not so bad. Not so bad. And I'm telling you, man, we're kicking butt. Sam, I'm going to take a breather for a second, and then I'm going to move on to a different topic here. Sam, how we doing? Any questions? Anything I should address? Or are we good?
No, nothing has arisen.
All right, beautiful. So we are going over time. We got more stuff to cover. I love it. I love it. I love it. So now let's try some more questions here. Here is our next one. Our next contestant on our question is right. So take a second, take your picture, and let's solve for it. All right, they tell us, start with your question stem. Given that the 1-year spot rate is 4 and the 2-year spot rate is 4.5, so I like to get it out there. 1-year spot, 4, 2-year spot, 4.5. They want to know which of the bonds is most likely underpriced. All right, so this isn't, I'm sorry, here's the market price, folks. And here is the coupon. Okay, here's the coupon. All right, 2.5. So now we could value the bond using individual spot rates, or we can value the bond using a single yield to maturity. We're now going to check the quote unquote market price by using the arbitrage-free valuation approach. Okay, so these are all 2-year coupon paying bonds. All right, all 2-year coupon paying bonds. So what I'd like to do is calculate the arbitrage-free value of each bond. So bond A, you ready? We got a coupon of 2.5. We then have principal and second coupon. Now let's discount at the 1 year spot, 1.04 raised to 1. Let's calculate the second cash flow at the 2 year spot, 1.045 raised to 2. That gets me an arbitrage-free value for bond A of 96.26. Now, what is that relative to the market price? The price in the market is 97.182, greater than 96.26. So we think this is overvalued, not underpriced. We think it's overvalued. Okay. So overvalued bond. The pieces are worth less. So we'd want to buy the pieces. Sorry about that, folks. We'd want to buy the strips, reconstitute the bond, and then sell the whole bond because it's overvalued. Okay, how about bond B? Let's see, bond B has a coupon of 3.5 and then principal plus coupon, discounted back, 1 year spot, 1.04 raised to 1, discounted at the 2 year spot, 1.045 raised to 2, arbitrage free value of bond B. Bond B, bond B, bond B, I got that to be, let's see, bond B, 98.14. So again, the price in the market, 98.14. So we're gonna we think it's overvalued. So we're gonna want to buy the strips, reconstitute, and then sell the whole bond. Okay. How about, it's got to be bond C, but I just practicing. So bond C priced at par. You ready? Arbitrage free value bond C. So we got a coupon of 4.5 plus 104.5. First one's going to be discounted at 1.04. Second cash flow at 1.045 raised to 2. The sum of the present value of the future cash flows. Arbitrage free value 100.02. So that price is less than the arbitrage free value of the pieces. Now we would want to buy the bond, and now we would want to strip it and sell off the individual pieces are worth more than the whole bond. So buy the bond and strip it. It sounds pretty exciting, doesn't it, Sam? We are going to strip that bond. You got to love it. All right. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's try another one. Here we go. Question number 2. Give you a second to set it up. And we got several questions here. More of a vignette format for you. All right, we're going to do 1 and 2 in this item set. All right, they want us to back into interest rate volatility, and assuming the binomial interest rate tree is used, let's get the value of the bond. Okay, so let's see what we got. Andre Dixon, as a charter holder, has to abide by the code of conduct using an interest rate tree model for fixed income valuation, currently considering a 2-year, 2.4% annual pay, coupon paying bond. The bond with par value of 100, significant liquidity, extremely low credit risk, blah, 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 blah. All right, so here we go. So here's my interest rate tree. All righty, so here's my 1 year spot rate today. 1 year spot today. Okay, here's my, I don't know what it is, but my 1 year rate expected in 1 year. 1 year rate expected in 1 year. Now, it could be higher than that. It could be lower than that. Due to what? Interest rate volatility. Okay, so we're going to want to back into what we think that 1 year rate's going to be in 1 year. I don't know it. They've given me the rate high. They've given me the rate low. Let's start with the basic. Let's value the bond, okay? So the bond has a 2-year term to maturity. So at T equal to 2, what are we going to get? We're going to get principal and interest. The bond is going to mature. All righty, so it's going to mature at 102.4 principal plus the interest of 2.4. Folks, if you don't mind, I'm just going to move this to give myself more room here. So the 1 year spot was what amount again? 6.1. And then in my interest rate tree, my rates could be 6.86. So I'm going to want to get a value there, or rates could be low. Rates could be low, and the low rate was 6.21, and I want to get a value here, and then eventually solve for what do I think the 1 year rate's going to be in 1 year. Okay, so now the value in this various nodes, okay, so my maturity value, independent of interest rates, maturity value, so long as they don't go bankrupt, 102.4. The question is, what would be the value in this first node? Okay, well, it depends upon rates. The future cash flow discounted at 6.86%. Well, if I take 102.4, discount it back at 1.0686, I would get a value of 102.4 divided by 1.0686 divided by, I would get 95.8263. 95.8263, but I'm not sure. Given interest rate volatility, the value in this node, okay, could be higher if rates turn out to be lower. So I'm going to take that 102.4, the future cash flow, discounted at the 1 year spot, which could be 1.0621. That could be the 1 year rate 1 year from now. That would get me a value of 102.4, 1.0621 divided by 96.41. 96.4127, 96.4127. Now, I do know for sure that the 1 year rate today is 6.1. What I'm not sure of is what's going to be my cash flow in a year. What is going to be, is it going to be this amount or is it going to be this amount? It's 50-50, folks. I'm not sure. So how do I get the value today? I'm going to take all my future values. I could have a value of 95.8263, and then don't forget your coupon, or you could have a value of 96.4127 and a coupon of 2.4. I'm not sure, but I'm going to discount all of that back by 1.061 and then divide that by 2. Why? 50-50. So my future cash flows, it depends upon what path rates take. Are rates going to go high or are rates going to go low? I don't know, but it all depends upon where we think the 1 year rate's going to be 1 year from now. So there's two potential values. So you add that whole mess together in your numerator, 95.8263 plus 2.4 plus 96.4127 plus 2.4. Discount that back at 1.061, divide that whole mess by 2, and you get 92.855. 92.855. Okay, 92.855. So let's answer one of those questions. 92.855 would get us a price of choice C, closest to 92.86. Okay, now the other question. We know the 1 year rate today is 6.1, right? Was it 6.1? This is 1.061. Excuse me, 6.1%. Yes, 6.1%. There is our 1 year rate today. The question is, what do we think our 1 year rate's going to be? 1 year rate in 1 year. Now I'm going to do a little cheating for a second. We know how to solve for that, right? The 1 year rate expected in 1 year, total time horizon, 2 years, right? You would need your 2 year spot, your 1 year spot, talk to grandma, okay, and solve for it. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you. Let's say the 1 year rate expected in 1 year is 0.06524. Okay, 0.065254. Okay, now we forecasted that 1 year rate, but folks, 50-50 chance the rate's going to be higher than that or lower than that. So what you really don't see in the interest rate tree, ironically, what we don't see is that number. We don't see that number. We see the high, we see the low. we actually don't see what the 1 year rate is 1 year from today. I'm going to show you how we're going to back into that. Well, I showed you how to get it directly. Now let me show you where they got the 6.86 from and the 6.21. Okay, now, you ready? We think the 1 year rate in 1 year is going to be 0.065254. Now, the analyst has to come up with their estimate for interest rate volatility. And folks, that's very important when determining what you think the value of a call or a put's going to be. The value of calls and puts on bonds are directly related to interest rate volatility. As interest rate volatility goes up, the value of calls and puts go up, which is covered later on. But what if I told you the analysts estimated 5% as their interest rate volatility? What we would want to do is we would want to calculate the continuously compounded. I want to know, what is that continuously compounded interest rate volatility? So let's take that 5%. Let's calculate the continuously compounded future value factor. So depending upon the calculator you're using, you need to know how to calculate your continuously compounded rate. So I am an old school. As you can see, I am old and old school. I'm going to do my 0.05, and then I am going to calculate my continuously compounded future value factor, 1.051271. So the interest rate volatility, let's pretend that's given at 5%. So rates could be higher, okay? So I would take my 1 year rate, 0.065254, that we would have calculated like we've seen just a second ago, what we think the 1 year rate's going to be 1 year from now. We came up with 0.065254. Multiply that by your continuously compounded present value, future value factor, 1.051271. That gets me my high rate, my rate high, 6.86. So 0.065254 times 1.051271, you get 6.86%. Now, rates could go high or they could go low. So I'm going to now take the 0.05 and change the sign. Now I want my continuously compounded present value factor. My continuously compounded present value factor, on the other hand, would be 0.951229, or if you take 1 divided by 1.051271, another way to get the 0.951229. So to calculate my low rate, my 1 year rate 1 year from today, 0.065254 times 0.951229. What do we think our low rate's going to be? 0.065254 times 0.951229 times, it could be 6.21%. Okay, approximately 6.21% with rounding. All right, so that's how you would directly get your high rate and your low rate. Now, in this question, obviously, the 1 year rate in 1 year was not given information, nor was the interest rate volatility. So how do we back into the 1 year rate expected in 1 year, this 6.5254%, as well as the interest rate volatility? How do we get that? So let me show you. If you're given your high rate, 6.86%, you're given your high rate. So we're given the rate high, 6.86. You're given the rate low, 6.21. Take 6.86 divided by 6.21. 6.86 divided by 6.21. You get 1.10467. Now, if you took 6.21, you multiplied it by 1 plus r raised to 2, you get 6.86. Okay, so we're going up, folks, not one node. We're going up 2 nodes to go from 6.21. We're not going up to the expected rate. We're going to the high rate. So we're going up 2 places, 1 and 2. We're going up 2 nodes. All righty. So you get 1.10467, but you're going up 2 nodes, folks, not 1. All right, 2 nodes. So if I take that 1.10467, raise it to 1 over the number of nodes, 2, 1 over 2, subtract 1, let's see, I get 0.051. Okay, 0.051. All righty. Now, that's closest to interest rate volatility of what amount? Interest rate volatility, 5%. Now, why didn't they give me 5.1? Because technically, folks, that's your continuously compounded. So using my financial calculator, I'm going to convert that to, let's see, 0.051. Let's see, 0.051. I'm going to take my 1 point, my 1 plus my 0.051, 1.051, log normal. Let's see what I get. 1.051 should be really close to 5%, kind of, sort of, 0.049. All right, closest to 5%. Okay, now let me show you what we're doing here. Let's see. So if you take your, let's see, 1 year, your low rate, 6.21. Let's take 6.21. Let's now multiply it by 1.051. And you know what? I should write it all out. Let me not be lazy. 1.10467, 1.051, 1.051, 271. That gets you 0.065, excuse me, 6.21. My 5% interest rate volatility using my exact future value factor, no rounding, 1.051271. So this is my exact future value factor with an interest rate volatility of 5%. My exact future value factor, continuously compounded. Okay, so 6.21 times 1.051271, that gets you 6.52%. Let's raise it to 1 first. 6.52%, then multiply by 1.051271 raised to 1. You get your approximate, again, with rounding, folks, where I'm approximating, but approximately your 6.86. So if I take my rate low and I want to go to my rate high, I've got to go up twice, 2 nodes. So cutting to the chase, 6.21 times 1.051271 raised to 2, you get your approximately 6.86%. All righty. So they're going to give you an interest rate volatility. Your job, given an interest rate volatility, first of all, forecast what you think the 1 year rate's going to be in 1 year. Okay, you would need your 1 year spot, your 2 year spot, you calculate that. They then, let's say, give you an interest rate volatility of 5%. We want that continuously compounded though. Okay, log normal. So folks, you got to convert it. Okay, exponential. So 1.051271 is your future value factor. Change the sign, and now you got your present value factor. Given your 1 year rate expected 1 year from now, multiply by 1 plus your future value factor, the rate high, 6.86. Take that same 1 year rate expected 1 year from now times the present value factor, you get your rate low. In this question, they gave us the high rate, they gave us the low rate. Okay, that's really 1 plus R, not raised to 1, that's raised to 2, because to go from the low rate to the high rate, we're actually going up 2 nodes, node number 1, node number 2. So times 1 plus R raised to 2. So you got to be mindful that 1.10467, I bet you 10% was one of the answer choices. Let's see, was 10% interest rate volatility an answer choice? It was. That is an incorrect choice. All right. So the 1.10467, you got to raise it to 1/2. Approximately 5% is our interest rate volatility. Okay, approximately 5%. Okay, let's try another one. One more, and then we could go. Let's do one more for good luck. Let's see what we got. Question number 3. Let's practice this. Take a second, set it up. All right, if the analyst uses a binomial model for interest rates with a log normal random walk and assumed volatility of 10%, the interest rate expected in the third period after one movement up and one movement down along the interest rate tree is closest to what? Okay, so folks, here's our 1 year rate today. So let's set this up. And let me get some, our 1 year rate expected in 1 year, our 1 year rate expected in 2 years, our 1 year rate expected in 3 years. Okay, so the 1 year rate expected in 2 years, the 1 year, so obviously your answer is 4%. All right, but let me show you how this would look in terms of our interest rate tree. We just get some white space here. Come on, come on, come on. Let me go all the way over here. All right, here we go. You ready? So our 1 year rate today, 1 year rate today was 2%. Now, that rate, we need the 1 year rate expected in 1 year, the 1 year rate in 1 year. Now, that was given information. They told us the 1 year rate expected in 1 year is 3%. But we know that the rate is actually going to be higher than that or lower than that. In our interest rate tree, we want to calculate rate high, rate low, 50-50 probability. Now, with an interest rate volatility of 10%, I want to find my continuously compounded future value factor, 1.105171, log normal distribution, continuously compounded, 1.105171. Change your sign, find your continuously compounded present value factor, 0.904837, or just take 1 divided by the 1.105171. Once you have it, you got your 0.904. So ironically, what we're not going to see in our interest rate tree is the 3%. We're not. What we're going to see instead is the rate high. Take that 3%, multiply it by 1.105171. The high rate's going to be 3.3155%. 3.3155%. And the low rate's going to be 3% times 0.9048. And you got to go out. I know it's a pain in the butt, but you got to go out. Otherwise, you're rounding too much. You got to go out like 6 decimals. You will get 2.7145. 2.7145. Okay, now remember, to go from this low rate to this high rate, we're going up 2 nodes, folks. We're going up 2 nodes. Okay, not just one. So if I take 2.7145, I multiply it by 1.105171, but raised to 2 nodes, you would get your 3.3155, 3.3155. Or, like in the example we saw a second ago, if you were given your high rate and your low rate, take your 3.3155 divided by your 2.7145. Let's see what we get. 3.3, sorry about that, 3.3155 divided by 2.7145, you get, oh, come on, 3.3155, enter, 2.7145, battery don't die on me. You get 1.221404, but that's really going up 2 nodes, not just 1. So 1.221404, raise that to 1 over 2, 0.5, let's see. There it is, you get 1.105171, okay? Our continuously compounded future value factor. That's how you would back into your continuously compounded present value factor. And then the 1.105171, let's see, log normal, enter GLN, we get 10%. There's your 10% interest rate volatility. Okay, you're not going to have to go out more than one place, okay, but that's your 1 year rate expected in 1 year. They asked in this particular question, let's see, they asked in this particular question, where was it? Let's see, the interest rate expected in the third period. So you have T equal to 0, that is your 2%. Your 1 year rate expected in 1 year, that's your 3%. And then we know the rate could be higher, the rate could be lower. Then in, let's see, T equal to 2, the 1 year rate expected in 2 years is 4%. And then you got to go up and you'll be up here. You got to go down 2 spots and your interest rate tree will be here. And then in your third period, T equal to 3, we again have 4%. And then you'd have to go up 1, 2, 3, and then down 1, 2, 3, and that's how you build out that interest rate tree. Okay, but the rate expected 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, okay, but then your rates could be higher or lower depending upon your interest rate volatility. Okay, so ironically, we don't see those particular rates. What we see are the nodes. Okay, the high and the low, the potential rates, if they go high, if they go low. Okay. Sam, I think that's all I got. I feel like I gave birth to a level 3 charter holder. Oh my goodness, how we doing? How we doing? So that was a little extra. That wasn't on the menu tonight, but we had some extra time. So we did a little bit about interest rate trees and interest rate volatility. Sam, any questions for me? Hey guys, we also would like to just talk to you a little bit about the course again. We do these free seminars because, like I said, we want to earn your business. We have coming up, and I want to check on my calendar. If you want to if you've already started studying for level 2, we've got a 2-day intensive coming up, CFA Level 2. We've got a 2-day intensive. Let's see, for our level 1 folks, our 2-day intensive is November 2nd and 3rd. And for our level 2 folks, it's November 9th and 10th. So if you're level 1, and you want to join us for a 2-day intensive plus another day of answering questions. So for level 1, that is going to be November 2nd and November 3rd. And then at level 2, our 2-day intensive is going to be November 9th and November 10th. But in addition to the 2 days of like 5 hours straight each day working problems, plus there's a Q&A session on top of that, a separate day at both levels, a Q&A. So it's really 3 days of review. Yeah, and if you're just getting started and you say like, Pete, you know what, I really need the full course. I want to be able to see what the pre-recorded lectures are that teach me the content. I also want to see, oh, and by the way, something unique that we do. Our Saturday boot camps, anybody joined us late, our Saturday boot camps are all about application. But you know what we do? We use the end of chapter questions in the CFA Institute book. Yes, the book you've been given, because that at the highest level, okay, we have our own practice problems that are kind of in step 1 when we walk you through the concepts. We then have our own multiple choice and our own vignettes depending upon the level to grease the skids, get you started. Step 2, the Saturday boot camps, you say, okay, you've practiced with us. Now let's solve the hardest end of chapter questions. We don't do every single one, but we do a pretty good sample of those questions to practice with you. And then step 3 are the intensive reviews. So you might need the whole package. And, look us up online. The reviews are phenomenal. People are passing and they're just raving about it. So really, there's just a phenomenal team of everybody's a CFA charter holder. You cannot teach for us. You can't write questions. You're not a subject matter expert unless you're a charter holder. Regardless of whatever credentials you have, UWorld holds it to the highest standard and say, listen, even if you're a PhD, you got to be a charter holder. You have to be able to apply that knowledge to the exam and have done that personally yourself. So that's UWorld's policy. I think it's pretty good. And yeah, Sam, did I leave anything out?
No, sir. I could not have said that better myself. I do want to reiterate, first of all, thank you to all of you who, again, gave up a few hours of your evening to maybe learn something that you didn't know before you tuned in. And certainly Pete, as always, is engaging. Pete, thank you very much for your time. So folks, this recording or this webinar is being recorded, and it will be made available in a couple of days. It'll be sent out. In the meantime, if you do have any questions, just drop us a line. Our folks at customer care will be able to answer any questions you have, and if they can't, they're certainly going to pass it over to me, and I'll be able to pick up the slack on that if there is any. So, Pete, any last words from you?
Can you see my QR code up there?
No.
Oh. I'm sorry. I tried to put the QR code up. Well, folks, no, that's all I got. I mean, I really appreciate your time. I sincerely hope that you got something out of tonight's lecture. Would love to have you as a regular student. Just as an FYI, high stakes prep is what I do. So between CPA, CFA, I'm a professional test taker, also an attorney. So I know what's involved. I know the commitment, the time. And you know what? I think you did the right thing sampling tonight and getting a feel for what we're all about. Hopefully we're a good fit for you. We've earned your business. Spread the word. If you want to join with colleagues at your firm, or if you're at a university and you want a group rate, we have group discounts for anyone who's studying, whether you're at a university, at a firm. If you want a group discount off the price, email my buddy Quinn at UWorld. He's Q Perkson, Perkson at UWorld.com. He will be able to get you group discounts. So again, if you have colleagues, and it's not a lot of people, folks, if you're studying with a couple of folks at your firm or at university and you want a discount in place, Quinn is the guy. He'll put that in place for you. That's all I got.
I also just want to close up by letting folks know, I'm not sure if you mentioned this, Pete, so if you did, apologies for the repetition, but we do offer a 7-day free look. So you would be able to see exactly all the things that Pete is talking about in terms of the lectures, in terms of our Q bank. So it'll give you an opportunity to try before you buy.
Awesome stuff. This can change the trajectory of the rest of your life, folks. So yeah, it's worth your time and effort. Take the time. 7-day free trial. Great point, Sam. I apologize for not mentioning that earlier, but what a great way to see, hey, is this going to help me? And then you can choose a topic where you're weak and say, let me see the way Pete and Darren or the Chris or the rest of the teammates present it. It's pretty darn good.
So on that happy note, folks, I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and look forward to seeing you down the road.
And I hope you go to the library, and that's how you enjoy your evening, reviewing what we've already covered. Let's go. See you guys later. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, folks. Good night.
Bye-bye.